Hello, everybody, and welcome to Picks and Bans here in the Week 4 EU show match between Taco Bell Esports Academy on the blue team and Death to Weebs on the red. I am Nibiria. I am joined here by Penguin God. How's it going, Penguin?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Pretty all right. It's a nice Sunday afternoon here for us in NA, but for everyone in EU, it's about 8:15 p.m., I think, for the UK, so...
hmm We have a nice little EUS show match here, as you said, between Team Taco Bell Academy and Death to Weebs. This is a pretty good matchup here, and you will see here that um, nothing really surprising coming out of these bands. A lot of mid lane focus coming out from Death to Weebs here, and the Janna ban, of course, because
Mm-hmm.
Janna Banana is broken. And Poppy pickup was the last pick for Team Taco Bell Academy, and Camille was third picked for Death to Weebs. Maokai was the first pick out of Team Death to Weebs on their side, and Cho'Gath was the first pick for Taco Bell Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, they are going through these really fast.
Yeah, they
Holy
usually
moly!
they usually at least give us realistic time to talk about the picks and bans. So Cho'Gath Maokai, pretty strong tops. Camille Poppy, Jungle.
Yeah,
See, I'm getting confused by the meta shift. Pretty strong jungle picks. The top picks are pretty strong as well.
yeah. It's pretty interesting how Cho'Gath and Maokai can be flexed in the top lane and the jungle repeatedly, over and over again. And you often see them flip flopping between the two roles without any trouble, really. Uh, and with that, you get a lot of possibilities that you can get with Cho'Gath and Maokai. Maokai can easily go top lane, has that pressure, and he can easily go jungle as well. And
Mm-hmm.
he has that super high gank potential with a twisted advance and the grasping roots. Tristana pickup always really good, nice hyper carry, and the Twitch is going to be picked up as well, along with we already know it's a Braum support here, and then Hyper Engine Bob picking up the Nami for himself. So we're going to talk about these comps real quick because holy moly, it's hard to talk about single picks when they pick them in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Alright, so Taco Bell Academy has a nice front line and a nice back line. They have a lot of good wombo with the Orianna Cho'Gath, and the Poppy can just send everybody back in team fights, giving them pressure on neutral jackets like Dragon and Bear. And the Braum also works really well with the team cup because he can just press R and hit everybody, and Twitch can hit everybody with his auto attacks. With that, we have a super good dive comp coming out actually from Team Death to Weaves here. With the Camille, Camille and Maokai can press simple buttons, go on the backline, and get there. And Twisted Fate can ult in the backline if he needs to, or he can just hit the backline from a super far distance. Same with Tristana. And Nami just sits back, provides CC and peel for the carries, while the two divers are distracting the rest of the other team, trying to layer CC and damage so that Tristana and Twisted Fate can just blow up the carries.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of pick potential here from DTW with the Camille being able to close long gaps very quickly with the hookshot wall dive, Twisted Fate with his ultimate destiny, and Tristana with rocket jump. Already just in those three, there's mobility of a few hundred units bare minimum for each of them. Twisted Fate can go across the entire map.
Yep.
And anyone who's seen Camille play knows that she can travel what feels like the entire map in half a second, but it'll be dangerous for Taco Academy to travel around without any ward coverage. They're going to need to focus on their vision game and make sure it's up to par,
Yeah.
because all CWL on Twisted Fate needs to do is just hit ult, and if they find a pick, that person is likely dead if they're all in the area.
Yep. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if they can play around it because Twisted Fate brings a lot of utility to games with that ult. Considering you see every single member on the enemy team, a lot of teams actually use it to check and see if a team is doing Baron at some point, and to possibly warn them off of it if Twisted Fate's really far ahead. I've seen Twisted Fates just absolutely blow up carries in one hit without any counterplay available after he teleports in. But with the team coming out of TBA, I don't see a whole lot of protection for Orianna and Twitch other than the Orianna herself. Poppy and Shogath don't really provide any shields or heals. Braum does for a brief minute, and he provides that armor and MR from his Get Behind Me, and that shield wall coming up will help as well. But other than that, there isn't a whole lot of peel and protection from these teams.
Well, the nice thing about having a Tristana, at least on the side of DTW, is that they can Tristana can keep herself safe between
Yeah.
Buster Shot and Rocket Jump. She can keep that distance that her passive provides her. I think she gets up to 650 range, I believe. Not 100% on that.
She gets
Whereas
slightly higher
Twitch,
than
on the other
Caitlyn.
hand, really only has his Q to position safely, and that's just a camouflage. So if anyone gets close to him, he's kind of toast without the peel.
Yep. But with that, we're going to send it over to a quick break, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Fee, foo, fum, and
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
hello, everybody, and welcome into Game 1 between Dtw Vs on the red side and Taco Bell Esports Academy on the blue side. It is Game 1 here in the Week 4 EU show match of Learning Fives. I'm Nibiria. I'm joined by Penguin God, and before I let him get a word in edgewise, we're going to do a rundown of the teams. On the blue side, we have Taco Bell Esports Academy, as I said, with Fee, Foo, Fum in the top lane, Razion in the jungle, Bursting Nemesis on mid lane, Box, AD carry, can't support all on support. Hopefully he'll try. Meanwhile, on the red side, we have DTW, Dtw Vs, with Gerhard QWE in the top lane, Darth Jeebus in the jungle, CWL in mid lane, ET Meta on AD carry, and Hyper Ungen Bob on Nami support. Hoping to see a nice, exciting game between the two teams. Another 5-point opener here from both teams, it looks like. Just getting some river vision. Nothing too exciting yet.
Yep. I do know that top laner for DTW likes to be called Gerard. Much simpler than Gerhard, and a little slightly simpler. But anyway, simple starts out of these junglers. Maokai easily starts those raptors on his own with those saplings. Gets a lot of damage off on those, and then Raizon getting some help from his bot lane. Hopefully gets it, and then Twitch Poison doesn't. But these stars are going to be pretty standard from both of these teams. Nothing too surprising coming out so far. Runes and Masteries all look pretty simple. I didn't see Brahm's Mastery because I wasn't didn't have time to look, but hopefully he took Thunderstone. Oh no.
Camille getting pretty low here in the top lane already, but good return damage onto Fifu. Gonna have to watch this top lane. It might be where the first blood is gonna happen.
Yeah, I think so. This Maokai is on that side too.
Gerhard hitting level 2 first, getting the stun with a hookshot wall dive. Fifi getting pretty low. Precision strike, not enough to finish him off though. Corrupting potion, definitely a plus for Gerhard.
Yep. And it's pause. Wouldn't be a show match without a pause.
Every single time.
I don't understand it.
At this point, I think they're just trolling us.
I think so, but I think teams sort of use pauses a lot because they're not used to having pauses. Having that ability to say, "Oh, I'm lagging. Can we pause the game?" And just being able to do it is a really nice feeling for them. I think that might be part of it, but
I'm reporting all these players for abuse of power.
yeah, clearly.
No more pausing.
It's just like people having issues with pro players using pauses for
Hashtag bathroom breaks.
Yeah. Which honestly is a whole ridiculous thing. Because like, why would you be mad that players need to use the goddamn bathroom?
Dear God, they have bladders. How dare they?
I know.
How dare
Especially
they
when
have
they're
proper human
especially
anatomy?
when they're in game 3 or 4 of best of 5 when they only have 10 minutes between games, and those 10
Oh
minutes
yeah.
are spent talking about pick and ban in the game. Like it's so frustrating to me to think that people uh, would do that um, to these pro players who are literally just doing what they do for the competition and for entertainment. But anyway,
I like imagining the workarounds they'd like to use, though. You
yeah.
know, like, do they want? I think they want the players to go to the bathroom breaks, like in between games, but with like a walkie-talkie, so they can still do pick ban.
That could
It's just
work.
like, Huhi, you're on open mic right now. Can you not? We don't want to hear that.
We don't. Pookie, please.
Huhi, please, buddy. Oh, Fifu having a flash there.
Nah, that was close.
Gerard
yeah.
doing some damage.
It's an odd situation there. But we have our game going on. Who cares about pro when you are sitting here and learning fives?
Exactly. That's why you're here instead of Dignitas versus TSM. We might actually have a higher quality of play.
Maybe.
I can't say that anymore. It makes me sad.
It makes me
Once
sad.
upon a time, I could have said that about Dignitas.
Yep. Dignitas has let me down one too many times, so.
Trust the process, man. Trust the
I
process.
choose not to put my faith in them, to be honest. But anyway, we aren't here to discuss pro teams. We are here to discuss our learning fives teams. And in this game, we are not seeing anything too major right now. I do want to point out there is a nice about 10 CS lead for Burning Nemesis here. But that doesn't really hurt CWL a whole lot because of that passive coming out from Twisted Fate. He can lose a little bit of CS and still be even in lane because he gets that extra gold from his passive.
Yeah, right now the gold lead is still at 100 for those two laners, but a gank coming in from the backline. Bursting Nemesis getting stunned up, using that cleanse already. Rayzeon, meanwhile, coming in from the backline, trying to get the rupture, but it's going to go wide. So Burning Nemesis having to burn his cleanse, but nothing else.
And there you guys see the power of cleanse on these champions that don't have a whole lot of defensive potential for themselves. Having that way to just get out of hard CCs like that is super important. And that prevents him from dying. It's a summoner spell that's on a relatively low cooldown. So getting that summoner spell up every couple minutes is going to be really important for him. But now he has to play safe in this lane, although the wave is pushing into him, which is a good thing for him. Gerard pushing that wave in as expected. About 5 CS up in this lane. Other than the mid lane matchup.
Maokai invade, getting hit up by the Winter's Bite. An interesting thing, though, you were mentioning that the cleanse is a short cooldown. Gold card is a shorter cooldown, but that's not what's important here. What's important here is seeing the pathing that's going to come out from Darth Jeebus, because he has two very strong potential gank lanes. He can gank either the top lane, which does not have flash or teleport, or the mid lane, which has flash but no cleanse left.
Yep.
And he has to decide which is going to give a better advantage to his team and which is an easier kill. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Gerard and Fifu. Jeez, that is a hard name to do on first glance. Scrapping it out a little bit, as ever.
You look at the name and you're like, what?
Yeah, you want to say Fi, because it's F-I, but then there's another I, so it's like we.
Yeah, it's...
I don't want to play this game.
I don't want this. I quit. See you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have relatively even start, only a couple hundred gold difference coming out by Taco Bell Academy, and seeing these teams match up is pretty interesting. There aren't any kills going over the first 6 minutes of the game, but that is to be expected. But neither of these teams have a whole lot of early kill potential, minus Camille. And you saw that she got pretty close to killing off Fifu from there.
Yeah.
But had to burn his flash. Burning Nemesis's cleanse is already about 2/3 of the way up. And the teleport is about halfway for Fifu from. And Gerard is out of mana in this lane though, so you see him going back. Likely gonna teleport back into lane with some items. Grab the Phage, gonna teleport into lane. And Burning Nemesis taking a nice trade here.
Yeah, a little bit of scrapping between the two of them, but no kill going down, unfortunately. Not quite as bloodthirsty as we're used to here in Learning Fives. Oh, nice double bubble there from Hyper Ungen.
So interesting thing about that is if Cancel Support All hadn't put up a shield there, that would have missed him and only hit the Twitch. So if he had waited a split second for the bubble to actually land, he could have put up his shield after and still been able to move. But that's not really a big deal because he put a shield up anyway. So the shield stops projectiles in their tracks, just drops them. So the bubble hit there and dropped down and hit that spot, and another bubble hit there.
Demonstrating the mechanic as you're explaining it. These are lovely players for us. Stun going down onto Razion. Razion might fall here. It looks like he's getting the shield from Bursting Nemesis, but will it be enough? A Q going down, a flash auto, gonna be enough to kill him. Darth Jesus with the first blood.
Nice job. Now you see the ganking potential and the kill potential out of the Maokai. He does a surprising amount of damage for being basically a full tank. And
Yeah,
CWL
Maokai
doing
is
nice for him.
disgusting. I love him.
He's so good.
Oh yeah. He always has been ever since the rework. Back in I think season 2 was the first time he was relevant with the old alt.
Yeah.
But then as soon as he got his new alt, I think he's been played in every meta where you could play a tank. Maokai's been there essentially.
Yeah. Just because of the tankiness and the CC that he provides, like that's it. That's all you need. And being a tree is kind of cool, so why not? I know.
I forgot he has a third alt now.
Yeah.
Jeez. Poor Maokai. You know, everyone complains about all the Rise reworks, but really Maokai's
had
you
more,
know,
I'm pretty
becoming
sure.
Rise 2.0 soon.
I think Maokai has had more like reworks, but I think Rise has had full kit reworks.
Ooh.
Okay.
Jeez.
Gerard,
was-
why?
That was actually an interesting trading pattern coming out from Gerard, using the hookshot wall dive as sort of his engage timer and just constantly off cooldown, using that with a second auto the precision protocol. And just eventually, Fee was not, I guess, ready for it to happen again, because we saw it a few times while the camera was up in the top lane. We saw that same pattern going in and out, and clearly very effective.
Yeah, that's what you want to do as Camille, is you just want to be dipping, ducking, and diving in this lane, trying to get this damage off over and over again. If you just wait for the enemy laner to come into you and try and use your ability, it's not going to work. You have to be the aggressor, and you have to be the one to get those damage trades in that are favorable for you, and trying to disengage in a way that makes it so that you can walk out. But Camille, seeing or not?
Question mark? Okay. Taking some poke damage from the jungle Cho'Gath. Interesting there.
Yeah, really interesting. I don't think he was looking at where he was at that point. I think he was just looking mid, trying to see what he could do, but didn't notice that Cho'Gath was literally on his face.
Yeah.
That happens. It's just like shopping before you're finished recalling. You generally just want to, if you're looking somewhere else, you always want to also have like a second eye wherever you are.
Ooh, hold on. This Maokai counter gank, or this Maokai gank coming out is great. TP in from CWL. It looks like it's going to be a lot of CC going down, but Braum is the one who gets killed first. Nope, second. Maddobox goes down first. A great 4-man gank coming out from DTW.
It's just like that. There's 4 people in the bot lane.
Yeah. Suddenly 4 people.
This is why I don't play bot lane anymore.
Yeah.
Because you think it's a nice little 2v2, and then suddenly you're dead.
Oh, it was a nice delay there from Gerard, saving the precision protocol auto. It was interesting. If you saw Jeebus's pathing, he went down to the back of the red buff, warded all around, and then went behind the Krugs and around to get the backwards flank. That was just really good pathing from him, and it shows how effective jungle pathing can be for a jungler.
Yeah,
and actually, Fifu showing something that I wanted to talk about earlier was that the hookshot wall dive engage is really effective unless you use steadfast presence on it. However, the problem there is the cooldown mismatch. As steadfast presence isn't max first, the hookshot wall dive is, and I believe hookshot's initial cooldown is around 18 seconds, and steadfast presence is 24. There's a problem where you can block the engage every other time, but there's nothing you can do on those other situations.
All you can really do is try and trade damage, get those Qs and autos down, try and do something. One interesting interaction actually is Poppy can charge the Camille when she's on the wall and stun her. And
that was what I was thinking too. I was like, wait a minute. You get the steadfast presence. She's not jumping to you. Just stun her now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how much that would have helped in this particular lane, however. At a certain point, I believe Gerard was diving under tower in order to get those pokes down.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
So there it would have been helpful.
There it would have been helpful, but we really should see Razion come top lane and help with that out. Just because I think that the two of them together can do something. The steadfast presence there, directed camera not showing us what we want to see.
Yeah. We saw the very beginning and the very end of it, so...
It's all you need, right?
The tactical sweep just mini poke. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but the slow sure is annoying.
Yeah, it sure is. And it also reduces your armor, which is a pretty interesting interaction there. Tactical sweep is actually surprisingly good, like poke tool, because it keeps you at a arm's length from your opponent, and it lets you kind of get that damage off basically for free.
Bubble going down, followed by the gold card, followed by the wave. Darth Jeebus getting the kill on Bursting Nemesis.
Holy moly.
Really quick.
Cleanse burned there, and then the 1 CC coming out, the cleanse burn, and then everybody just jumps on him.
Yeah, she's like, alright, cleanse is out, guys, let's go. Oh, stun coming down onto ET Meta, the rupture, the wall, everything's going down, and so is Tristana. Meanwhile, Razion trying to get Hyper on the Bob, I think, but little too aggressive there.
Yeah. ET Meta not respecting the amount of damage in CC that can come out. He tried to rocket jump, but ended up getting knocked up twice in a row. That was kind of cool to watch. I always love seeing knock up into knock up while he's already being knocked up. Just because it's so fun to watch. But you see that the builds coming out from both these AD carries are pretty similar. It looks like they're both going to get the BF sword and some attack speed from the boots, and then extra damage after that. That's just the max DPS, attack speed, and crit builds from these AD carries. The Twisted Fate builds Roa now because your damage is so high already. And you getting those tanky stats with the health and mana is really important. Oriana building Morellos, not a big surprise there. Both junglers going the Cinder Hulk build, again, no surprise. Really no surprises coming out of any of these members here. I'm curious to know if Braum went Bond of Stone, because if so, he could have... wow, my brain is just blank. Okay, if he went Bond of Stone, he could have very easily gone Redemption this game, but decides not to do it. The Nami also rushed to the coin max item first, rather than going Redemption first. Little tussle going on here.
Oh, the smite steal from Darth Jeebus, and then the bubble to follow up. He looks like he's trying to go in here. Razion not able to do a whole lot, getting stunned up, getting locked down. Razion getting taken down, can't support all, looking like they're going to follow. Winter's Bite not getting proc, so can't support all, just flashing out. Meanwhile, a flash to follow from Darth Jeebus. Hookshot wall dive going to be enough to finish him off. Bursting Nemesis going to be the next one to fall. CWL just trying to go in. Oh, but a shockwave under tower. Not going to be quite enough to kill him, but nice last-ditch effort.
Yep. You see
that
the power.
said, I would have liked to have seen it saved instead.
Yeah. Nice try there, and another pause. That gives us some time to talk about what just happened. So you saw a nice little invade by Darth Jeebus there, and you also saw Gerard roam down to get these kills. Excuse me. Double kill for him, getting 2 kills on his pocket is really important, because getting a split pushing Camille ahead is amazing. Because when you get a Camille in a side lane and the other split pusher can't match it, then the game's just basically over at that point, unless the team can play around it. But with Camille that far ahead, it's almost impossible to match her. The team is 5,000 gold ahead in this game, or like 4,500, with all these kills in the tower that's gone over. So making sure they sustain this lead through the mid game is going to be really important. They need to push their lead and split push even more effectively here, and try and get vision control down in these jungle quadrants, and getting control and getting Darth Jeebus tanky enough to basically dive any tower for a few seconds to get these kills is going to be super important.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, I mean, Jeebus almost certainly already tanking up to dive the towers for a little bit, just based on his itemizations and the point in the game. But you were talking a lot about the split pushes and how that's going to be an important way to maintain the lead.
Yeah.
There's just such a great comp for Death to Weaves right now in order to split push, because you have Gerard in the top lane with that huge lead, teleport, hookshot, wall dive. That's a lot of both lane mobility and map mobility. But the big portion of this split push that makes it so much harder to deal with is CWL, who has both teleport and his ultimate destiny, which is a semi-global.
Yep.
At this point, normally what you do to answer a split push is you either engage on the split pusher's team as 5, or you send one who can handle them off the match. If you can't handle them with just one, you either send 2, or you again have to engage on their team without them and just hope you get enough kills to make them back off. The problem with this is if you only send 2 people, suddenly CWL sees that. Gerard just says, hey, we get 2 free kills right now. CWL ults in, gets the stun card, and then suddenly the fight is turned and the split push continues with 2 deaths on the enemy team.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to respond to at this point, and honestly, I don't know how they're going to, because CWL also is incredibly strong at this point.
But you have to remember, throws, my friend, throws.
Well, yes, this is all ideally.
Yes. Ideally speaking, these teams are very mismatched at this point, where Gerard is super far ahead, CWL is relatively far ahead, and has a lot of gold in his pocket. He's also going to be building this Lich Bane, likely next, and getting that's going to be really important, because even he can split push. He, like you said, he can teleport slash ult down there and get into the lane with Gerard and split push after getting kills, and getting that is going to be really good for them, because TF does a ton of damage to towers. He just kind of melts through them after a while, and getting those towers is going to be super important. Breaking the base, getting that nexus is kind of what it's all about. So we'll see if Team Death to Weaves can play around Gerard and CWL in this game, because all Darth Jeebus, Meta, and Hyper Engine Bomb need to do is stave off and hold mid, basically, and not get engaged on and die, and then the split push strat can just work. So really, it's all, I'd say honestly, it's all on Darth Jeebus to temper his engage potential for counter engage, because if he's the one that pulls the trigger and doesn't get like a perfect kill onto Matabox's Twitch, then they could lose that fight and lose a lot more than they're gaining from the split push. So hopefully Darth Jeebus turns the switch to a peel bot instead of an engage bot at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to see that as well, but more importantly than how they play the team fights is how they play the objectives from this point out, because they do, despite their massive gold lead at this point, as you said, 4.4k already at the 15-minute mark, they only have 1 tower right now, and that's in the bot lane. ET Meta is currently pushing onto the 2nd tower, but there's 2 towers in the top and mid lane. What I think they should do is either go for a tower immediately, the mid tower is a good candidate right now because no one's around it, or they need to turn onto Rift Herald, take that, and then use the pressure they gain from that in order to force a tower in at least 1 lane. Then when they have to deal with the Rift Herald, you can rotate into the other lane. Hopefully that's what they're going to end up doing here, because I think Rift Herald at this point is too good an objective for them to ignore.
Yeah, I agree. So we have a few minutes of a pause. Hopefully it doesn't last too much longer.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you run out of things to say during a pause.
Yeah.
And then the act of trying to think of something to say ends up just creating this awful silence. So you end up doing what I'm doing right now, which I call stalling for time. And it's a very effective strategy, both in casting and in real life. If someone asks you a really awkward question like, hey, do you like me? You can stall for time, and that'll work really well. As we saw, because the pause is over now. Heal going out from ET Meta because they stuck under the tower a little bit too long. And like I said, Rift Herald going to be going down right now.
Yep. Rift Herald's going to pick up because they can get a tower for that. The way I see Rift Herald is kind of like a delayed tower take, without taking a whole lot of damage from towers. And because you get the Rift Herald, Eye of the Herald, and you pick that up, you plop it down in a lane, and you get like half a tower's HP for free. And TBL is going to grab this tower up for himself. The tower taking potential of TF being shown right there.
See, the funny thing about the tower taking potential, he did that in perhaps the least efficient way possible, because blue card does the most damage.
Yeah.
He was just cycling through. He was like, you know what? I'm feeling fancy today. I'm feeling the variety show hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna gold card the tower. But I respect that, you know? He still got the tower, they still got the Herald. Now they had to decide what exactly to do with it. Dragon is coming up in 32 seconds. There's still an open T1 tower in the top lane. But it looks like they're going to focus on the Dragon instead.
Yeah.
It's going to be an Infernal, so pretty smart.
Every team wants the Infernal Dragon because they say, oh, well, clearly that extra percent damage that I get from the extra AD and AP is going to matter. Whereas when people see a Cloud Drake or an Ocean Drake, they're like, well, I mean, I guess I can move faster, and they don't actually they don't know how to quantify it. But that extra move speed you get from Cloud Drake is surprisingly effective. But Twitch was in the bot lane and is recalling. Oh, getting a nice catch.
Oh, double bubble going down onto Razion. A wave coming down, and Razion goes down. Can't support all. Shortly going to follow. Exhaust down on him. Bursting Nemesis going to try and save him, but no, he's going to go down. They should turn immediately onto Dragon here while Gerard pushes the top lane. It looks like they're doing just that.
Nice pick.
Yeah.
Gerard has some free time in this top lane to grab that tower.
Now, I was going to mention before that fight broke out that they really need to kill Razion, or at least burn his flash before this, because with his Consume Smite, he does more damage than Dark Jeebus can ever hope to do.
Yeah.
But luckily, Razion just kind of walked into them and then died. So, things working out very well here for DTW.
Very well played by Dtw, grabbing those 2 kills on the jungler and support. Jungler and support ends up being a roaming squad for most teams, so it's no surprise that they were the ones up front more. But they went a little bit too far forward when Dtw was right there, and ended up dying for their sins. And Gerard was just like split pushing that entire time. That was essentially a 4v5 minus Twitch. So it ended up being a 4v4. Twitch was in the bot lane, and recalling at that point. But you see here, they're trying to put this pressure in the bot lane, but Twitch is just going to sit there soaking up that farm. Orianna's going to come, soak some as well.
Ooh, Gerard going on to Fee at this point. Tactical sweep going down to get the slow. Ooh, that was a lot of damage from the Precision Protocol. Gonna knock her out of her own ult. Showing how Poppy is pretty okay into Camille.
I love that matchup just because of that reason. You can just
that's perfect right there.
toss her out of her own ult.
Ooh, the flash red card. Almost working, just needs to get one more red auto, and it's gonna happen. Gerard getting the hookshot wall dive as well. CWL on a rampage, Gerard doing great too. 405 and 401 respectively. Gold card going down there on can't support all, but they're just gonna disengage. This game is almost certainly over.
It's pretty close to over. I wouldn't say it's 100% over at this point. If Team Dtw gets like even a couple thousand more gold ahead, it's pretty over. I'd say at this point, if Team Taco Bell Esports Academy cannot stop the bleeding, it's pretty over, because they're just going to grab all of these towers. They have 0 towers themselves. They only have 1 kill. This is an almost perfect game. We have to report ET Meta for feeding this game. Clearly weakest member on the team.
Yes, he's ruining it for everyone now.
Yeah. But yeah, Taco Bell Esports Academy is just super far behind at this point. For those that don't know the Riot remake policy, they consider a game to be too far gone when there is a gold lead that is equal to or more than a third of the enemy team's entire gold. So you see here there's a 10,000 gold lead for Team Taco Bell, or not Team Taco Bell, Team Dtw here, and the Taco Bell Esports only has 27,000 gold. So they should have 30,000 gold to still be relevant in this game, but they don't. They are over 10,000 gold. They are 10,000 gold behind, which is over a third of what they have. Nice steadfast presence there. So this game is relatively over at this point.
It's just pretty toast at this point.
Yeah, we'll just have to see if Team Dtw can close it out, if they know what they want to do, and if they can grab these towers, get these objectives, and push down these waves here. It's going to be pretty tough for Team Taco Bell Esports Academy to come back from this point.
Yeah, we're seeing good priority here on their to-do list is this Baron buff. They're trying to clear out the wards, but hopefully they're not going to do what we call the classic Baron Dignitas play, where you think you have a great Baron and then you throw the entire game off that one play. So they're trying to be careful now. They don't really have an advantage here at this point, but Gerard looks like he's going to try and get stopped here by Razion, so there's no jungler for Taco Bell Esports at that Baron, which means it should be fairly uncontested. Actually,
Gerard just doing his thing.
they just don't even notice it.
Yeah, I don't think they noticed. Although they
It
saw
looks like
the
they're
clear
going
out
for it now. Can't support all. Trying to walk out. Darth Jeev is getting pretty low. If they get stuck into a fight here, that's bad news. Shockwave not going to go out. A good defensive wave there from Higher Ungen Bob. Just keeping them nice and safe, preventing that engage. Because that would have been 1 or 2 deaths, almost certainly.
That was well played by Gerard, knowing when he needs to go aggressive to bring the team down. You saw Razion trying to go down to assist FIFO from there. And that just resulting in that weird...
Oh, Maokai ultimate going out. Gerard going in onto Mattobox. Mattobox getting pretty low, but not going to go down just yet. Finally falling. Gerard going to be the next one to fall. Razion getting exhausted, but not quite enough to save him. Darth Jeev is there in the backline doing a lot of work. Razion trying to eat someone, but it's not going to happen. ET Meta going to jump in now, knowing that he's safe. Trying to go into Bursting Nemesis with a wall from Braum is too much to get through. Braum going down, and Bursting Nemesis barely surviving. Rocket jump in. Flash gets the kill, and that's an ace. Well, he's still alive technically, I guess, but...
I guess so, but he's splitting the bot lane.
I'll call it a combat ace.
There isn't really a whole lot he can do even if he backs. Like, the game's pretty
I think
over
at this point you just keep pushing or you try and cut the wave.
Yeah,
Those
but
are
he's
your
probably
two
just gonna,
options.
he's probably just going to try and hold them out, at the very least. They can probably go for the winner because they have super minion, or super Baroned up creeps here. But we also see Mattobox is alive, and the rest of the team is coming up pretty quick.
Yep, Mattobox doesn't have that ultimate though. No spray and pray available. A little bit of poke going down from ET Meta. Razion getting stunned by the hookshot wall dive. He's going to almost go down. Flashes away from the bubble. Not a whole lot to be done there. CWL has the gold card primed and ready to go, but doesn't look like he's going to even get a chance to use it. The Nexus is about to fall, and it finally does. Congratulations. Game 1 goes over to ET Meta and DTW. ET Meta, unfortunately, one of 2 deaths that game. They did their best, but still a feeder. Please report 9x. Anyways,
please report
that's
ET
gonna be game
Meta
1.
and Gerard for feeding.